Hey, welcome back to 5-Minute Life Hacks. I'm your host, Natalia Ambrosia, coming at you from my bedroom in Los Angeles, California. I want you to know I recorded this episode a few weeks ago. It's about boredom and why it's important to be bored. And the funny thing is that it's really relevant. Well, it's not that funny, but it's really relevant now with COVID going on and quarantine and self-isolation. A lot of us are really bored and we don't know what to do with ourselves. Some of us are working, some of us are not working. And a lot of what we tend to do is go on social media and check our phones. So in this episode, I'm going to talk to you about why it's important to be bored and let yourself be bored and maybe not check social media. So I'll just get right into it. This episode was inspired by Almost 30, one of my favorite podcasts. They had an interview with Cal Newport. He's a computer science professor, and he talks about digital trends and how they affect our world. And he also gives you solutions to how to best fit them into your life. He was talking about his latest book and also actually quite a few of his books. He's really interesting. You should go look him up, find him on podcasts, read his books. I can't get enough of him. Subscribe to his newsletter. He didn't pay me to do this, I promise you. His latest book he was talking about was digital minimalism, and it was talking about how these digital trends have affected our life. So for example, social media, how we went from checking Facebook once a day, once a week, to checking it multiple times a day. He was talking about how when Facebook was going to IPO, which means, I guess, join the stock market, how they needed to have something addictive to it to get people to open the app multiple times a day. So what they created was the like button. So whereas before you just had photos of your friends, suddenly they created the like button and you could have an incentive. You would be able to know what your friends thought about you. And suddenly it went from once a day to 20 times a day. And what I also found interesting was he was talking about how Facebook executives, a lot of them don't actually have the app on their phones. And Facebook, by Facebook, I now mean Instagram as well, and how a lot of them send their kids to schools where they're not allowed to have technology because they know how it affects us and our mental health. The other thing that stood out was how he was talking about boredom and how we're not bored anymore because now every single time we feel bored, we take out our phones, open them up, and start scrolling, right? I'm so guilty of doing this. Literally, any single time I have 10 seconds free, I will take out my phone and start scrolling. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm looking at. And how this was taking away the feeling of boredom and how boredom is necessary, just as necessary as being hungry. Being hungry means we need to eat. We need to feed ourselves so we don't die, right? Being sad, being happy. Boredom is essential because boredom helps us create. It pushes us to do things. But he was saying that because of social media and now being able to check it at any second we get bored or we're meant to be bored, we're not bored anymore. And like suddenly we find ourselves 2 hours later stalking somebody we don't even know. So in his book, what Cal suggests is that you take a social media detox. So obviously not pertaining to your work. So for example, for me, I work in social media, so it'd be almost impossible for me to take a social media detox completely. But he says to take a social media detox pertaining to your own social life, to go off it completely, cold turkey, and then rebuild it back into your lives. And he was saying that when he was doing these tests, the main thing people said was that they were feeling bored. But he said the most successful people that went through this process were the ones that actually followed their boredom into a hobby or into their relationships. And that's the thing. Getting off your phone can improve relationships because instead of looking down, you're looking up and you're really paying attention to the person. It can improve your mental health because you're not stuck on that screen and what people are thinking about you, how many people are liking your photo. I actually was surprised because as soon as I listened to the podcast, I started being conscious. So I work in social media, Instagram particularly, right? So I have to be on Instagram, but I realized that there are designated hours when I work on Instagram. So I'll open up my phone and I'll work for 2 hours straight and it's on Instagram. It has nothing to do with scrolling or anything like that. But then there are other times when I'm just sitting there and I feel bored. And I started to notice during that one day how often anytime I had a second free that I wasn't occupied doing something or talking to someone, I'd open up my phone and I'd start scrolling. But this time what I'd do is I'd grab my phone, I'd get the impulse and then I'd stop. And I swear I did it like 20 times a day. And that kind of freaked me out because I thought, wow, I really am not getting bored. So to wrap up, what I want to say is I think boredom is essential for us to do the things we love. And when we do the things we love and talk to the people we love, we're going to be happier, right? So what my quick trick is today is to, 1, spend the day noticing how often you have the impulse to pull out your phone, but don't do it. Pull out your phone and don't open it. Just notice it, right? And there's also apps you can use that can help you restrict time. I know App Blocker is one, but if you just Google it, you can find one that helps you. And number 2 is actually designate social media times for yourself, because we're going to have to do it. It's part of our world, so designate the time for it. So maybe spend half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the afternoon, half an hour in the evening, less if you can. And then notice how you get bored. Let yourself feel bored. Feel so bored that you start cooking, or feel so bored that you start talking to your kids or your family members, or you FaceTime your friends, or you read a book, or maybe this isn't the COVID quarantine time you're listening to this. Maybe you want to get outside and go to a dance class. Oh, dance class. I miss my dance class. But it's fine. We're going to get through this. We're going to be bored, and then we're going to do amazing things. This is just a learning and a growing experience for all of us. So connect with me on Instagram. Let me know what you think at Natalia Ambrosia. We'll get through this. Sending you lots of love and light. Have an amazing day. Bye.